been a very listening government and a very listening program. We believe say feedback very important in them process there. When have been the ask for the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security. So today, I get the distinguished honor and pleasure for presenting una my colleague, Honorable Abu Karim. Yeah, Edenaya today for discuss very important issues that were close to the heart of many Sierra Leoneans. You know, the bomber business, the food security, the agriculture business. I also get the distinguished pleasure for welcome now the program today. One of my most committed and diligent staff there, uh, Mrs. Marama Yoma, with the lead the national cybersecurity efforts of Sierra Leone. So Fambulen are really excited to see we're here tonight again. Um, la apologize for the late start and for tell una say actually the Namotuka, they drive, they go, but I will not make this commitment. Na time catch me because we can lunge for commission the new airport tomorrow. His Excellency don't put together. I've been in our radio, so I run a little late. But soon I go there. Na my place also I go give una a very, very serious engagement. So I want to ask my panelists there, let una introduce yourself to the people there and what una key mandate them be. I want to start with my colleague minister and my culture, uh, Honorable Abu Karim, for talk to family. Let introduce himself first. Who na you, sir, and waiting at the mandate of your ministry. Because you know, my people them want hear it from for long. And it's oh come, you bring trade minister and say, okay, you don't do well. But one the agriculture minister for no say man and care about the bomber. Because president say elect Salome, it's a once that bomber no car, say I be know it's more casada, you know. Yes, I
Thank
agree.
you.
Yes. So talk to me, sir.
Thank you very much. My junior, my brother, and colleague, Honorable Mohamed Rahman Soare, and me fumble them. Mina Abubakar Karim, na the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, and I'm pleased for the Otuna today. For I can give una an overview of the activity of we ministry. As my colleague minister don't say, this now an opportunity where I know say a lot of people and don't they look forward to, but primarily the mandate of Uyo ministry now for ensure food security and obviously for produce food for let we go able for attain that. The concept of food security not just limited to just one ministry. Obviously, now we get the mandate for lead on that. So all the sector ministries then also they play a greater role in the overall production and support towards food security. We're now one of the key driver of His Excellency mandate under the Human Capital Development Agenda. So on that note, I didn't here today for giving just a taste of what will be done they do and what we get in plan under the leadership of His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, for make sure say food self-sufficiency become a reality. Thank you very much, and over to you, my brother.
Thank you very much, my big brother. God bless you for that very succinct introduction of your mandate, the thing that we they do for fulfill that mandate today. And now I want for talk to my colleague, Marama Yoma. We now one of the first female national security, cyber security coordinators in West Africa, and the very first in Sierra Leone for take we through a mandate and waiting make them set her up and waiting done. Yeah, let us begin under.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, sir. Fumble them good evening. Mina Maya Mayoma, just as the Honorable Minister introduced me. As you can remember, in 2021, one law they were then called Cybersecurity and Crime Act. The government be legislator and it came into to power in that year 2021. As part of that, the act itself, it creates something we then call the National Cybersecurity Coordination Center. The National Cybersecurity Coordination Center, na the center where me dey in charge of. And we mandate now for handle all cybersecurity issues them na the country. Specifically, I go say we dey provide support to judiciary, we provide support to the police, the prosecutors, for make them able fight cybercrime then at this country. Not just the cybercrime for fight and more, but we want also for make sure say we create the necessary awareness so that citizens themselves safe when they go na this cyberspace, they go able protect themselves. Then also, say like now all man they digitalize, all man they go online. You get the banking sector, most of the services they all day online. You get the mobile companies, then self their own services, then they online. So we as an institution, we they provide necessary guidelines, we they provide necessary standards them, wait them for put in place na the institution so that they could protect their services then them. Because we don't want a situation wherein if some bad people them outside the country or even within the country itself, they attack them critical system, then it will collapse and then it affects service delivery to the citizen. So we also they in charge for ensure all them thing then them. We also, because cybercrime na crime wey be say one country no dey able fight for itself, one person no dey able fight am in one green. So na something wey need international cooperation. All different countries they need for cooperate so that we all go able fight am. Because somebody can dey America and then he commit crime na Salone, or somebody dey na Salone self and then he commit crime na America or UK. Now that kind of space then we get. So as an institution, we dey ensure say we get international cooperation with all the other different countries them. As this program go dey go on, we go talk about different other things them. So now just a few things them where we mandated for do as an institution. Over to you, sir, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mama, for that very succinct introduction of your mandate. I want for come now to make Minister of Agriculture, like I explain to family the state of agriculture and food security the time it take over. Because if you not remember who side it take over from, the status, how it take over, you're not gonna know which progress it don't make. So I want to talk to Koto Abu Karim for let it give you a snapshot of the state of the agricultural sector where it take over a couple of years ago as minister.
Thank you very much, my brother. And
Honorable
thank you
Abu
very
Karim.
much. Thank you very much, my brother. And thank you very much to the listeners then. I think, like you rightly said, first, I want to really tell you thank you for this initiative. I think this is an opportunity that we really get to talk to people so that they go understand how things are working. You are absolutely correct. When I obviously take over the ministry, I think I have been privileged before even assuming the mantle of leadership in the ministry, whilst I be serve as presidential advisor to His Excellency the President. One of my main focus na food security, and in that time, I be constantly engaged with the ministry, so I know exactly some of the issues, the challenges, so them they go through. So when God give me the opportunity for His Excellency appoint me for take the leadership, I sort of pretty much had a fair idea. And so when we get there, one of the two we don't do prior to even me taking over when the government come in, now for assess the ministry itself, how things were at the time, what we need for put in place for make changes. That led to what we call the development of a program called the National Agricultural Transformation Program. We Nadandi na be the blueprint we develop for the delivery of agricultural activities within a 5-year period. That is, it should be by 2023. And the component of that lead to 4 key areas. One, now rice production. Like my brother don't say, Salomon, no matter what you do, no matter what you don't eat, if you not eat rice, it will tell you, say, I not eat for the day. But also, it's not even just about that. We don't see, say, it is our staple food, but unfortunately, the investment in it will get for will not produce enough for let we able to sustain ourselves, and therefore they depend too much on importation. And that is costing government in excess of over $240 million annually. Now, just food production on its own costs government over $400 million. Now, you say, but why that is the case? And the irony is that we get the requisite natural resources so we're able to help us follow we grow rice. And what I mean by that is that we have about 5.3, 5.4 million hectare of arable land, of which less than 15% we don't utilize. We have one of the best ecologies. We get what they call the riverine areas. Those are rivers, then Boku water, then Dedi. We get the area under the Boli land, where you know it's not dry land there, but where rain can then go be really very good for produce food. We get the mangroves area, where they see in some area where by the saltwater, you can get a mangrove area where you can actually grow food stuff there. You get what in they call the inland valley swamp. We don't say within our communities, you get them small swamps there. Then one day them bokuna communities, there where people then can go, then can do their farming there. And then we get the upland. But we're not about to talk too much about upland because we want for discourage work na upland, more na the lowland areas. So we have the ecology then they very good. We also get annual rainfall of over 3,800 millimeters every year. Countries that were they very close to, we were near the Sahel area, you know, they struggle for even get water. God give you that opportunity there. We also, apart from that, we get Boku rivers there inside the country, where countries then they particularly in the desert area where they struggle for get water. We get about 12 rivers there where they crisscross the country. So we get really, in terms of ecology, in terms of natural resources, what it takes. I think what can be done lack, na part really primarily na part of bad governance and also the right type of leadership. This is where I think say we all for thank His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, for in astute and visionary leadership for say we should stop producing importing of foodstuff. It is shameful that we spend so much money just for import when you get the right type of ecologies and resources. So what do we do in that respect? Now for invest in rice production and how you do that one day. The first thing we say, what do we need for do that? Now for let we make sure say for let we go small stop for do then small 1 hectare 1 acre, you know, 0.5 acre, let we do something big on the commercial scale because of the type of land we'll get. And for do that on the commercial scale, it also means that you need to get the right type of equipment, the resources, and we know say as a country and as government for let things they move forward. And this is not just unique to Sierra Leone. The private sector that they are the key drivers for development now any nation. And therefore, we believe, say, if you bring the private sector there in, then go actually help, particularly for sustainability. The example to that is that, like you say, government not a good businessman, and we don't see that one in this country. When you take something, one is in a government get her, they know they look after them properly. But when a private person get her, it must make sure, say, it take care of them because it get for pay for her. So president decides, say, we for invest in mechanization. That is for bring machines then come. So, you know, in his wisdom, he makes sure say we procure about 210 tractors, including machines like tractors and power tillers. Sorry, 410 of that, and then 2,410 equipment where they go with their machine then they. And what did we do? We distributed that into all the 14, 15 agricultural districts in the form of what we call machinery, but under what they call a public-private sector partnership with the private sector. And for the first time in the history of the country, we get our indigenous private sector players there. When are they getting machine and then they pay for them, to government, but the machines then they na every location na the country, now every district, so that you make that day available. And you not just start for that one day. They say we also need for support the production more and more and provide also what we call inputs. But this time round, first time before, now government and they give everything. It decides say for bring the private sector. So we make a scheme we then call um, uh, uh, um, what you call under the private sector components, the one they say now agro dealers them or input suppliers. Then agro dealers then they in seeds, then they in fertilizer, then they in agrochemicals. These are the things that we need for you need as the ingredient for let you produce. So and this now they under the private sector. Government don't pull hand, now more of regulation. And for let we do that regulation, we set up through an act of parliament the seed certification agency where they make sure so they call them SLESCA, where they make sure so then they certify any type of seed where they then bring into this country or what to get for plant. In line with that, we also set up what we call NAFRA, which is the National Fertilizer Regulatory Agency. Then they also now for regulate the type of fertilizer that they bring into the country. So most of the things are now in the hands of the private sector. And also, His Excellency not stop there. They say for the private sector, then they let them begin for operate. Let them go, because we have to accept the fact, say, the private sector to a large extent, very weak, particularly at local level. So therefore, we provide credit facility because we need to fumble that we need to understand, say, agriculture is not a cheap business. Agriculture is an expensive business if you really want for benefit from it. But also for capacity to private sector players, them, we provide credit facility. For the first time in the history of the country, that credit facility of about 10 million, where we put down, private sector people them actually come in and access that one day at single digit interest rate. When I say single digit, we're talking about 5%. Normally, commercial banks then, they take, in double digits, 18, 20, 25. And for a private sector where they go into agriculture, that is a bit too much for them. And we see our private sector players that will benefit from that for letting people for provide those inputs. Now, the impact of that, all of that will do, we'll do about 20,000 hectares for support our farmers. That 20,000 hectare, now 1 hectare per farmer. Now, for giving now an understanding what in an hectare mean, an hectare is like the size of a football pitch. So if you think about 20,000 hectare for support 20,000 farmer, now quite a lot. So from 2019, where we start, the local production of rice was about 580 something thousand metric tons per annum. At 2021, under the Moody Index, we produce about 918,000 odd tons per annum we don't produce. And in line with our mandate for the human capital development, we have increased production by 24.7%. It's a small jump, but it's a big one, you understand, in terms of what they try for do. And under the leadership of His Excellency the President, even at the height of COVID, we make sure, say, we produce food. Nobody not go say in this country they ever to line for any food stuff. You go say possibly the prices are high, and then not we the responsible for that. Because if we not produce what we sell for it, and we depend on importation, when the man go import them, obviously you get for pay charges for bring and come. All them charges then they get for other, now they make price they go up, but not to because of lack of commodities in the market. Nobody not go tell me say, since we don't dey in power under the leadership of His Excellency, we don't to line for any food item. We don't see our neighboring countries, then come for can't even get from we. So that's not just one indication. The other aspect to the National Agricultural Transformation Program, now 3 crops we will talk about with cocoa, coffee, cashew. We have programs that we don't support the diversification of that. We don't give quite a lot of seedlings to our farmers then. We get so many ways now actually go around. We get database where they show the number of people that who don't support on our outgrower scheme on things like cocoa, on things like cashew, on things like oil palm, and we already see the impact that they make. Today, oil particularly, cooking oil, we are not important at this country. Now, as a result of the work we don't do and make sure say they are producing, we own locally grown palm oil, and then they convert that into cooking oil, we get now this country. In fact, we are exporting that. So then kudos to His Excellency and the work they do. The other aspect, now that of livestock, we know say when you look at, I always say the when you talk about balanced diet, it's not going to be complete if you not get all the nutritional components, and that means your beef, your chicken, where they provide you with
Okay.
proteins and so on and so forth.
Honorable Abu Karim, I mean, I want to let you take a break, let you catch your breath and take some more water. We don't give you a lot of latitude for really able to talk to we. Louis, so you said just like what I mean, look forward to you. Said be ready today for people then. So as you take as you catch your breath, Mohammed Kamara say in a stakeholder of Kamasondo, Dalokomasama. They say in 2020, your ministry launched the Rombe Swamp project. 2 years along the line, it go like for no waiting at the current status. But you go can't later.
Thank you.
Just hold on to that one day. Marama, you said on the in now the Cybersecurity and Crime Act, now 2021 they enact, not also?
Yes, sir.
Yes, since 2021, farmer then go like for no what you don't do since then. Because we know Boku law then within the enact in parliament. After the jamboree in parliament, then the dinner chef then they got a dust. Tell me a little bit about the thing that what you don't do. This is why Mr. go help you rub more para as they go on small.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, sir. As we all know, cybercrime, when they create the Cybercrime Act, when they legislate now a new area for even most of the law enforcement people them. For example, the judges, the prosecutors, and even the police officers. Because, for example, when they handle traditional crime, where you need for go na the site, where you see na go na the site, you they see all the evidence that you need for gather. And then based on that, the police will say, okay, get at the evidence then they can go he go prosecute the person. But when it comes to cybercrime, the context is a whole lot different. With cybercrime now, people they commit the crime using the computer system or the mobile phone or the iPad. Now through them device then they do the crime. And when then they do them, you need specialized skills for make the investigators then, for example, then probe the system, then get at the evidence, then they present an court. And then for the prosecutors themselves, they need for get some certain know-how them. For example, now they need for know, okay, waiting at this computer. They need for able for go present that case they properly na court. And then the judges themselves, they need for know how the electronic evidence, how it all come about, how them go able admit them na court, how them go able check the integrity of them, the reliability and everything. So based on the facts, then they say the cybercrime now a new territory. One of the things that we don't do since the appointment by His Excellency the President, now for build that foundation the force. So from the start, we do training for judges. We do training for 20 judges, and for the training be so exciting because even the Chief Justice himself be a part of that training day. One situation where we can see right across the country or in terms of maybe some other things then now is that people can come, they can do training, but not the end of that one day. But as an institution, we want a situation wherein we dey able get sustainability in sense like if like we dey do dem kind training dem dey we need for incorporate am within the institution. So wetin we do, we talk to the judiciary dem get an institute, so the people dem wey we train na the tutors dem wey dem dey work within the judiciary training college, na dem we train them, and the whole na high court judges, the chief justice, and then we get some supreme judges them we say be the part of that training. Then we don't do them training, then we do the first, we do our locally, then in different instances them we don't they get na make be all as part of the mandate we talk about this international cooperation. So because of the fact that we don't they reach out to other people them to different nation them, so we able get support. So then support them they say help we for make we care some of them judges then do international training so that at least then go know waiting all thing there about electronic evidence, cyber crime, and all that kind of thing. Then also we don't they do series of training for police officers them. Even though maybe they get challenges in terms of like we cannot train some police officer and then they can based on the policy, say they get for they do rotation here and there. But then na something like where we don't talk because like as part of the institution at the highest level, we get something where they known as the National Cyber Security Advisory Council. And the National Cyber Security Advisory Council, it they be headed by the Honorable Vice President. So now something we don't channel to the Honorable Vice President, and as until like we then they work towards. So at least the police officers them, if they don't decide now, say okay, I want focus me attention per cyber crime, per forensic investigation, then get the pathway for at least make them be experts in that field. So then they will work on them. So we don't do series of training for them. In fact, just last month we do training for prosecutors them as well, apart from the investigators. Last week now we do training for the police officers, and we do something in forensic, digital forensic, because one thing we realize we be go around all the different stakeholders them where like they contribute for implementing Cybercrime Act. And one thing we be see the way like how the process and procedures not be 2-day fine. So like we call them into a training, how they for able when you go na crime scene, if na cyber crime, how you they go and then you collect that evidence there, how you they make sure say you handle the evidence properly so that you do get what you want, how you they preserve the integrity of the evidence right up to the fact say where you they go present them na court as an evidence. Then one other thing, the way people like you always they feel, people like you always take and say cybercrime na cyberbullying, cybercrime na just cyber stalking, cybercrime get way beyond that one thing. For example, you get a situation wherein like somebody go thief boku money na bank. When they thief money in a bank, nowadays you hardly hear about harm robbery. People then go take gun, go na bank, and then put people under gunpoint and say una pull the money. That did not happen again. Waiting they happen, you get smart people them where we say then go develop some kind malicious software, they try for input and insider banking system then find way for extract money, pull money, and go take boku money without something. And in most cases, even the institutions then can fail for realize. And then so the tender way something and the institution can fail for realize. It can be so difficult. It can be the bad person he already don't do in accident. So like then say so all landed in a cyber crime. You get situation like this for online, this mobile money. Plenty term then day. You get some people that will call you. You don't win so and so price, so because of that day we need you for send this amount of money so that you will collect the price, or you don't get this particular job, so that all that day then a cyber crime. Now the team will be they see plenty. You get some people that they can impersonate big people them. Oh, me na so and so, me na honorable minister Rato Soare, I get stranded na so and so side. I want make you send so and so amount of money for me. Those are all cyber crimes. So then they always they train the police then so that they go know waiting there within the act. So at least then go able, if case come before them, then go know waiting for them. Then all the things the way we they do. Apart from that one day, we also dey try for raise awareness. Most of the say like we dey try for go na radio station dem, TV station dem, for at least talk about how people dem for conduct themselves online. Because even though government don put this act, e don pull this act for safeguarding people dem, because as we all dey move towards this digital space here, we need for get like laws wey like go safeguard we as citizens. You no want a situation where you dey do transaction, then somebody e go thief you money, then you no get side where you dey go get redress, or some side where e be say you go get justice and get your money back. So the government don do this, e don put the law, they don put the law. Then na the government your responsibility. We all self as citizens then we self get responsibility for make sure say we do things them properly online. So the awareness raising self than they thing. Then again, the other thing we dey try for do where we dey work towards, because we get a funding from World Bank project, from the World Bank project, where we say we need for identify all the big business them, where we say we dey call a critical information infrastructure system. For example, mostly like if you get like a bank or Salone, then get this big system where be say now they all the necessary transaction they happen. If anything happen to their system, they either collapse the economy. Mostly, for example, you get like Zood Labs, where then they when I then host the fiber. In case anything happen to the fiber, the entire country not they get internet. So then thing that they all the critical system then. So we they work for make we able identify all the critical system right across the country. So at the end of the day, we they create like a protection plan. Say as long as you're in a critical information infrastructure system, you need for follow A, B, C, and D, because we need you for protect your system. So at the end of the day, the service where you they provide to the citizens, they will always make sure say it always they own. So all
Okay.
now we they do as
Mama with the holy hand of us. This is a very interactive platform. I want for tell we usual followers there and the new one where they join with plenty thank you for the support of the non-show since we launched this product. And I want for encouraging today, like all other times, for share the link to family, to friends, to loved ones. Then let we share this information and let this debate go on. Because more often than not, if you not get the information, you think say nobody know to do anything. Today I don't bring some of the finest people than I are. Madam Marma Yoma. Marma, incidentally, now the only cyber security coordinator in a woman in West Africa. Within this the show, it underlined His Excellency the President in commitment to gender empowerment and gender equality. And Mama, not so any woman no more way to go past cyber security conferences around the world. It make this country very, very proud. So I want to talk about that. Honorable Abu Karim, I want now we come to issues then we follow us the non-raise. Issues around the Rombe swamp, issues around Tomabo. I will come back to you for you can talk to we about the success there. Additionally, because you don't do that extensively, you know, waiting you think say the future look like. But talk to we about the Rombe swamp, about Komabo, because people then glad if I know about that. Go on. Go on, Honorable Abu Karim. Honorable Abu Karim, are you there?
You get me?
Honorable Abu Karim. Mm-hmm.
You get me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay.
Well, you heard the question, eh?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so let's roll. Go on.
Thank you. So, me Fambule Muna, thank you. I also continue for thank my brother for this laudable initiative. Yes, the issue of Rombe. There are two things I would have been very surprised if Tomabom not come up, in this conversation. But I really want Mr. Kamara will ask that question. Yes, you're absolutely right. We don't launch the Rombe, program. This not a program winner for rice production of about 14,700 hectares at the Rombe swamp. Now, I think one of the things we need to understand is that large-scale investment into any sector, let alone agriculture, is not something we will just happen overnight. I know say yes, 2 years seems like a very long time. But within this time frame, within the group will be the CAM. This is now a group from the UAE through His Excellency the President in engagement with the leadership of the United Arab Emirates, come up with this concept for produced rice na the Rombe, of the tune of about 14,700 hectare. Now, what we can do after that launch, now for send a technical team for let them can do a comprehensive studies of the area. And what we can do that same day, then bring small plane and carry them fly out for really study the geography of the land itself. Because the kind of investment they don't want for put, they want put irrigation. Irrigation, we now, in fact, that's now one of the things we really, as a country, if we need for really produce more and depend on production, irrigation for agriculture is key. But this is not something we're very cheap. It's a very expensive exercise. It's a very expensive infrastructure for do. So we be then come if una be noticed, probably not everybody, but they bring some plane then come from South Africa, where they can then fly over the Rombe and take all the coordinates for go really study the Rombe properly, which they don't do. They don't do a lot of analysis. They put program in place. In fact, they have a focal person within this country. We then send. We don't have for the last 2 years. It work. Not. It's not just about just the irrigation, but also analyzing the soil, analyzing what they call the hydrology, of the area itself, the type of the irrigation system we then go put in place. They don't do all of that. But we deal with big investors. Them, they want to make sure they get it right. They no one can hire and just disappear, because most times what don't happen. I can tell with some of the investment, because they not do adequate studies, they end up they're not able for continue for doing. But I can assure you, say it's still on. And with the wait now for them, His Excellency, we don't engage them quite recently. We said, Mr. don't meet to them. Even last week, we had conversation about this. And with the wait for let them present to we the final blueprint in terms of voting for do. Obviously, our ambassador Rashid Sisi, the UAE, they follow this up religiously for let we make sure say we do. But Rombe is still on. Activity will definitely get for take place. But I just want for reassurance and say, let we make sure say we be patient, we will get them right. Coming to Toma Boom, like I say, and obviously this conversation will finish if Toma Boom not come into play. And one level also understand say Toma Boom not to just a small area. Toma Boom alone get in excess of over 100,000 hectare. I don't tell you now what in 1 hectare look like. It's the size of a football pitch. So for let you develop that one day, it's not just something that will happen overnight. But what in that happen? We get projects that will go on there now. We got the Regional Rice Valley project, where the leadership of that project is Mr. Abdullah White. And that project, they support 25,000 hectare at Toma Boom and 10,000 hectare in Cambia. And part of that now for let them do irrigation, where they don't come, the Sabi people, they don't come, they don't take the necessary design, they don't contract onto them. We're just waiting now for the funding component for let that happen. But we're not just don't know more, because Toma Boom, I want to understand, not to just regional rice value, not what take place there. Government of Australia also, through the program what they do, would they also do large-scale rice production there. So as it stands now, just with the regional rice value, they don't produce about 3,000 hectares just for this year or last planting season, where they don't harvest. And una go begin see, I'm sure una go don't see on social media some of the packaging, and una go begin see some of that rice there, and I will help them in this country. So Toma Boom is active, it's ongoing, In fact, the recent engagement na Senegal, where His Excellency go for go present what we call the compact, where now one of the things where countries and they present for see which part of the value chain for agriculture will go able support. For us, the value chain now that for do with rice production and then irrigation, like I don't say, irrigation now the one thing that they will go make we able produce rice 2-3 times a year. Because say it, the advantage you'll get to get all the water, all those resources, but the challenge you'll get now what we call water management. And that water management day, now the only way we'll be able for do now for to develop very good infrastructure like an irrigation system, we go mean that we'll be able to manage the water well, we'll be able for reuse that water day, even during the dry season. So we'll continue for produce all year around, 2-3 times a year. So I want for reassure and I say Tomabom is live, Tomabom is working, we don't begin produce. In fact, recently we even don't get because part of the what we call value chain that for do with not just for produce but also for process. We get rice mills, then brand new rice mills that we don't get for day. They don't build the facility, and therefore put them rice mills. Then we don't already the in country who go actually support production of more rice, in the Tomabom area. And it's not just going to be just Tomabom. Like I don't say, just that project they no more alone. They also support 10,000 hectare in the Mambolo, to be precise, Cambia district area. So that is ongoing. So I want for Leone fears. Anybody you can drive, go to Tomabom today, or send journalists them, let them go look. Activity they go on there. In fact, we just stay now at the point we'll get for start the next farming calendar, and when I get for see all the machines they're out. Somebody talk about they want for understand how the machine ring they operate. That's a very good question, because all too often there has been misconception. People and just feel say no, the machine just they no more. Anybody who wants to go take them, just like that. In fact, when they get people who they call, we tell we say we forgive them and the human machine let the whole under their hand. It doesn't work like that. The people then, where I don't say that the private sector there, now they get them. Government just create that initial platform for make sure say we buy the machine, then come through a competitive bidding process. They actually win then contract then but then they pay for the machine then. And because then they pay for it, then say a business then they do. Even we say self our government, just that as government, would they get the first refusal offer, now hire would they hire from them. And we government they support the initiative, we they provide land preparation, input distribution through that, But the machines are there for anybody where you want for user, you go meet the service provider or the machine ring operator, let them go plow your place for you. You pay them within the agreed amount, but it is not for free. Because Nadandi 9 people at the miscontrol, not to for free, they are running it. But what is the most important thing is it's available. Because before first time, for let you get people, for let you even get machine for say they around, it's very difficult. Now it's there. Now we make the most of it. I think
thank you very much,
I will stop there for now.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I think you don't really take your viewers and listeners then by storm today. It's them they look for you. Okay.